Jagrative, Jam Masters. The greatest secret of the universe is consciousness. It is the one thing that's different from everything else. Everything else is what you're conscious of. You're conscious of people, you're conscious of landscape, you're conscious of the earth, you're conscious of trees, you're conscious of paper, you're conscious of everything. You're conscious. Otherwise you wouldn't know it was there. But it's the same consciousness that's conscious of all these things. If you look at a rock, you're conscious of the rock. If you shift your attention and look at the rug or look at a tree, you're conscious of what you're looking at. Everybody's so interested in what they're looking at and not paying attention to who's looking. There's only one consciousness inside of you. I like to ask people, first, are you in there? Are you in there? Are you sure? What if somebody tells you, no, you're not? You laugh. You walk away. You know that you're in there. You have awareness of being. Were you in there yesterday? How do you know? You can't answer those questions. You're just in there. You're aware that you're in there. And yesterday things were folding in front of you and you were aware of those. Were you in there 10 years ago? When you looked in the mirror 10 years ago, did you see the same thing you see now? Same age, same looking body? No. How about 20, 30? You can go back as far as you want. Wasn't it you looking? Consciousness doesn't change. It's such an amazing secret. It's like hiding in open sight, okay? It's the greatest secret in the universe, and because you're looking out, you don't have any idea what you're talking about. Consciousness is the most important thing. I'll say the universe, but I won't say it yet. It is the most important part of your being. How do I know that? Take everything else away, you'll be aware that it's gone. Take away your house, are you aware? Your hand gets cut off. God forbid, but it does. It gets cut off. Are you aware that it was there and now it's not there? Is it the same you who's looking at the not hand who is looking at the hand? Or just somehow there's somebody else in there? Is there anybody else in there? Okay? You are the consciousness. Take anything else you want away and you're aware that it's gone. Take you away and there's nothing. It is the everything and nothing. If I take away your consciousness, there, boop, gone. Now what? There's nothing. There might be, who cares? There isn't for you. There's literally nothing. Consciousness is the beginning and end of your entire being. We've just talked about outside things, being conscious of the outside things. Are you conscious that you have thoughts? Do you have thoughts? How do you know? I don't know that you have thoughts. How do you know you have thoughts? Because your consciousness is aware that there was a thought. Is it the same consciousness that's aware of the thought that's aware of the objects outside? Can you both be aware that you're looking at somebody and have your thoughts talking about it? Isn't it the same you? What about your emotions? Are you aware that you have emotions? Are you aware that you feel love? Are you aware that you feel fear? Are you aware that you feel insecurity? Are you aware that you feel weak or strong? Yes or no? Who is aware? The same exact consciousness is aware of your emotions, that's aware of your thoughts, that's aware of what's coming in through your senses, and that's aware of the sensations from your body. There's only one of you, and there's always only been one of you, period. What has changed are your thoughts, but not you who saw them. You experienced your childhood, not your memory. Yes, you have memory of your childhood. You are welcome to bring back the memory. Guess who's aware of the memory? You. And you are the same one that experienced your childhood. Let me ask you a question. Do any of you go to sleep and dream? You're not out here, are you? Are you aware in your dreams? Are you aware that you're playing in a world of a different body and getting married or dying or doing things? When you wake up, let's get it straight. When you wake up, have you ever said, oh my God, what a dream I had? These are the deepest spiritual questions. How do you know? You woke up. You're here. How do you know there was a dream? Is it that you just remember it or you were in it? Did you experience the dream or it's just a memory? You say, I experienced the dream. I had this amazing dream. I had this terrible dream. Oh my God, I was so scared. Use the same I that you talk about out here. Use the I, don't you? God, what he said to me hurt me so bad. In the dream, I couldn't imagine what happened. I felt like I had died. Same I. You'd have the same conversation, no continuity change or anything. Why? Because it's the same consciousness. It's the exact same consciousness that's experiencing your dream world as the consciousness that's experiencing this world. That's how you know when you woke up that you had the dream. Why? You were there. You were there exactly the same. How about this? Have you ever woken up and said, oh my God, I slept so deep, I didn't have any dreams? Yes or no? How do you know? You're so silly. It's hiding in plain sight. The greatest thing in the universe is hiding in plain sight. You. Your consciousness. When you sit there and say, oh my God, I slept so deep, I had no dreams. How do you know if you were sleeping so deep? Because you were there. What do you mean I was there? You were there experiencing nothing. Patanjali, one of the greatest yogic scriptures ever written, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he addresses that. He says, when you go into deep sleep, deep dreamless sleep, it is not that you are not aware. You are aware of nothing. The consciousness is there, but it's not being disturbed by any objects of consciousness. Do you see the difference? When you're out here, there's object of consciousness pulling on your consciousness, distracting you, pulling you out. Your thoughts distract you. Your emotions distract you. They capture your consciousness, don't they? They capture your awareness. Dreams capture your awareness. Deep sleep, there is no object of consciousness. Nothing is capturing your awareness because there is nothing there. So you are in the void. You are very deep. Deep sleep is a very deep spiritual state. It's not enlightenment. Enlightenment's higher than that. But basically, your consciousness is not being distracted by any objects of consciousness. Therefore, there's this deep sense of peace. Guess what else does that? But it's higher than deep sleep. Meditation. Now, most meditations, you don't go anywhere. You go into your mind. People say that. I can't meditate. Why? Because my mind just won't shut up. You don't understand. I consider that a great meditation. That's why I don't teach meditation. Because no one will listen to me. That's a great meditation. What? You got up and you said, I couldn't meditate. Why? My mind wouldn't shut up. How do you know? Look at you said, my mind wouldn't shut up. Whose? Who is this somebody that wanted to be quiet in there, but the mind wouldn't shut up? Therefore, they were distracted by the mind. So every moment you spend working on returning to the seat of self is as deep as it comes. Now, if you have a very deep meditation, which sometimes some people do, and you go bye-bye. What do you mean? You went bye-bye? You're sitting on the pillow. Where did you go? When you go into deep meditation and it's totally quiet, did the mind stop or did you stop paying attention to the mind? There's a great master, fully enlightened master, who once wrote to his disciples, oh my God, he said, hold on, my loved ones, all right? My loved ones, Baba found out the mind does not have to stop in order to go into samadhi. The highest state of oneness with God. The mind doesn't have to stop. Why should the mind have to? Hey, the world doesn't have to stop when you close your eyes and go to sleep, does it? You just stop paying attention to it. This is deep stuff, okay? The key is not the mind. The key is not the emotions. The key is not the body. The key is not the world. The key is the consciousness. Without the consciousness, there's nothing. With the consciousness, unfortunately, there's a lot of noise. Your mind makes noise, and so your consciousness is distracted by your mind. Your senses, the sensations of your body, all the different senses of your body, make noise, and you are distracted by them. Your consciousness gets pulled down into those sensations. Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras, his first step into deep meditation is called pratyahara. You don't need to learn this stuff. I never learned it. I don't even want to know it. Why? I would love you to go past mind. Consciousness is already there. You're not going to God. You're in God, looking out. I've been teaching that lately. Do you get that? Like if the light is shining on an object, make believe the light is consciousness. The light is shining on an object. Well, it's illuminating the object. It's distracted by that. Look how beautiful it is or how broken it is. It's studying the object, right? And it sits there and says, I need to get back to my source. You never left your source. The light is in the source, emanating out. You just identified with what it fell upon instead of identifying where it's coming from. So you're not going to God. You're just ceasing to leave. See the difference? That's kind of nice to know, isn't it? Okay? Why would I leave ecstasy, bliss, Satchidananda, beauty, the garden? Why would I leave that? Because your consciousness is distracted by these objects, isn't it? And it's very distracted by these objects all the time. There's no peace. That's why they teach you to meditate. To try and at least see that you can be okay in there if your mind is not bothering you, if your heart is not bothering you, if you can withdraw yourself from the senses. And people say to me, well, your heart, that's such a high state. He just defines it as withdrawing your consciousness from the senses, withdrawing your awareness from the senses. Can you do that? You better say yes. You do it every single night. Every time you fall asleep, you're withdrawing your consciousness from the senses. Haven't you? You're not paying attention to the world. People can come in and talk. You don't hear a single thing. You withdrew your consciousness from the senses. Unfortunately, you don't know how to do it. It better just happen by itself. Otherwise, you didn't sleep that night, did you? Why? Why couldn't you sleep? My mind even kept thinking, emotions, mosquitoes were flying around. In other words, something distracted me to keep my consciousness on that object of consciousness. Therefore, I could not fall back. Okay? Isn't that beautiful? Everything's so simple. We make it so hard. We make it so complex. We make it sound mystical. It's not mystical. The highest thing Christ said, my Father and I are one. Guess what? So are you. The difference is he was seated there. He knew who he was. You're there, but you're looking out. If I'm sitting in this chair, but I'm fixated by that picture, guess where I am? In the picture. If all I'm looking at is complete, all my consciousness focused on that picture, what else is in my world? Nothing. Even though I'm still sitting here. Your consciousness projects onto objects of consciousness. You don't have to try. It does it all the time. I like the word distracted. Most people don't think distracted is a spiritual word. I'm telling you, the deeper you go, you understand distraction is what it's all about. It's all about the fact that you're distracted from God. Oh, you mean I should think about God? No, then you're distracted about your thoughts about God. Your thoughts about God are not God. They're nicer than thoughts about terrible, all kinds of crazy things you think about, right? But they're thoughts. The self that is looking at the thoughts, that is aware of the thought, is the divine being itself. It's the source of consciousness. The source of consciousness, you might as well spell it G-O-D. The source of consciousness. We can talk more about that a little later. But right now, you can't get there. Why? Is there something stopping you? Is there a gate to heaven? No. There's distractions. Mental distractions, emotional distractions, physical distractions, outside object distractions, all the time. Doing what? Distracting your consciousness from your seat of consciousness. And by the way, witness consciousness, we talk about being able to sit there and watch your thoughts, watch your emotions, watch the world. That's not a terribly high state. Why? You're still sitting in you. You're still separate. Your consciousness is focused, looking at your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your mind. It's better than getting lost in that stuff, and it's a nice launch pad for where we can go. It is the source of consciousness. Not the consciousness sitting there still being distracted, but you're watching. So that's very good. I'm not knocking it. Most people can't even do that. You're watching the thoughts. You're watching the emotions, right? There's no reason to do that. You're such a small part of the universe, and you limited yourself to your little 5 foot by 3 foot, 6 foot by 3 foot little piece on the earth, and all you care about is you. Your consciousness is not limited to staring at you. The light is not limited to shining on what it's shining on. It can shine on anything, can't it? Someday you're going to find out that if your consciousness is not distracted by you, it is not distracted by anything. And it just expands out and isn't limited. You're not limited. You're a great being. You're the greatest being that ever was. The trouble is you can't let go because you're distracted by these things. That's what's going on. That's the highest thing you'll ever come to know. You're already there. You're just being distracted from where you're sitting. If you were sitting in the middle of a garden, and it's the most beautiful thing in the entire world, oh my God, it's heaven. Heaven, there's angels and fairies flying around or whatever you guys like. And then all of a sudden there's this tiny, tiny little worm. I mean, it's so small, but you don't like worms. And so out of the whole garden, you're focusing on that. Where are you? You're in worm consciousness. You do not experience the garden. Well, what if I wasn't staring at the worm? How long would it take that you're not staring at the worm for you to see the whole thing? A billionth of a second. All right? Why did Christ say the kingdom is within you? You know, he said that. What does that mean? Well, just what we said. You are the one that's watching your mind. You are the one that's experiencing the world. It's within you. It's within the you. The I am, the consciousness itself. Isn't that beautiful? You are a great being. The trouble is you are distracted by the noise of your mind, of your emotions, of the physical sensations, and of the outside world coming in, aren't you? The trouble is you're so distracted, that's like telling a fish that they're in water. They don't know that. They've never been out. If they're a flying fish, and they go back. Wow, yeah, man, what's that up there? You got a frame of reference. That's different. But a fish doesn't know they're in water. How could they? They've never seen not water. You don't know you're caught in your mind. You don't know you're caught in your emotions. You don't know you're caught and distracted by every single thing that's going on, every moment of your life. Why? You've never not been. Fair enough? Okay, so now you understand the spiritual path. The spiritual path is not about rules and what you eat and what you wear. And it's, oh, no. I mean, it's fine. Of course, you need to practice the disciplines in whatever tradition you're into. That's fine. It's all fine. But you understand eventually that's about not getting distracted by yourself. It's about not getting distracted by yourself. Because what happens if you get distracted by yourself? The thoughts of your mind capture your consciousness. What are the thoughts of your mind like? I don't have to be psychic because I know what they're like. And they're not always so pleasant, are they? You're afraid. This could go wrong. Did I say this? Oh my God. Am I wearing the right thing? Like, it's just worry, fear, and insecurity, and need. It's just, whoa, it's pretty noisy up there, isn't it? Why? Because you tried to be okay out here. That's the bottom line. You tried to be okay. Of course you want to be okay. You're the divine being. You're filled with ecstasy at all times. All right? You know what the name for God is in the Sanskrit? Satchidananda. Eternal conscious ecstasy. Not, I'm sitting there with a book judging you. Eternal conscious love and ecstasy, the source of all of that. You're leaving that to hang out with your junk. Why? Because you don't know not to. You got pulled into that, and then you said, I'm not okay. And so now I need to be okay, and the only way you know how to be okay is based on your past experiences. When somebody said they loved me, I was okay. When I got an A and everybody else got B's, I was okay. When I got hired and I wasn't sure I could get the job, I was okay. There are times you've been okay, a little bit, not for long, but a little bit. So that now when you're not okay, you're staring at this mind that's giving you all that trouble, you say, I need to have those things happen again. I need to change my relationship, I need to get more money, I need to do this, I need to change my look, I need to do something that will make the outside make me feel better inside. I need to do something that will make the outside unfold so I feel better when it comes in. That's what everybody's doing. Right? They just all have different experiences in the past. Therefore, they have different ideas of what they need to make happen for them to be okay. And so the mind is struggling. Buddha said, all of life is suffering. He was not being negative. Rich people suffer, poor people suffer, old people suffer, young people suffer. Everybody's having trouble. Doesn't mean every second is not like a broken leg or something, but they're trying to be okay. Everyone's trying to be okay, aren't they? Everyone's trying to be okay, and they're fighting with each other to make the outside world be the way they think they need it to be, so when it comes in, they feel okay. Countries are fighting with countries, husbands and wives are fighting, everybody is suffering. Somebody once said to me, isn't that negative? Isn't Buddha negative? No, Buddha's not negative. That's not negative to say that all of life is suffering. It is. Yes, sometimes you can get things the way you like, and you feel better, don't you? How long will it last? When have you ever gotten something that made you never suffer again? No one ever did or ever will. Why? Because you're lost. You're not centered in your source. You lost yourself in all these distractions, and now you're trying to build something inside of your mind and your heart, your self-concept, that says, if I be this way, I'll be okay. That's not you. That's your mind talking. And so basically, you'll never be okay that way. No one's ever been okay that way. No matter how rich they were. Look at all the rich people. You see it now in the papers. They're still having a lot of trouble, aren't they? Rich people, poor people, old people, young people, married people, divorced people. Okay, fine. Do your thing. But no one ever was totally okay forever after it happened. If you'll marry me, I love you so much, I'll never need anything again for the rest of my life. Anybody heard that? Okay, yeah, let's see how long that lasts. We could live outside. I don't care. Yeah, okay, until you do. So you wake up and you realize you have lost your seat of being. And you drop down. That's the fall from the garden. You drop down into this body, into this mind, into these emotions, and into the world unfolding in front of you. And the only thing you know to do is to try and manipulate and control everything so it unfolds in a way that makes you feel better. Yeah, I'm being better. And what do? Worry about not being better. Okay? So what is the alternative? To wake up. Buddhists say work at the root. What is the root? Consciousness. Consciousness is the root. But it's being distracted. So you end up realizing, I hope you get there quickly, that what I need to do is to learn to not be distracted so that I can sit deeper inside where there is a source of great joy and great love. And there is inside of everybody. I don't care what you ever did. It doesn't matter. There's nothing that anyone ever did that took away the fact that they're seated in the source of consciousness looking at themselves. Doesn't matter. That's why Christ said, forgive your sins, forgive your sins, forgive your sins. They got so mad at him. Why? There are no sins like that. It's something you took on. It's screwing your mind up. It's screwing your emotions up. It's screwing everything up. But the consciousness that's aware of that is God consciousness. It can never get tainted. Just like a light shining on things. Does the light get tainted because it's shining on something broken or dirty? How long will it take for a light that has spent 100 years shining on the dirtiest, filthiest thing that could ever shine on? How long does it take for it to not be shining on that? A billionth of a second, it just moves off of that and it never happened. Good. Nothing can taint your being because everything is something you're looking at. It's not who you are. Now, if you're looking at it, it screws you up. If you hurt somebody, you did something, you feel guilty about it, and you don't know how to say you're sorry, you're going to be all screwed up because that's what you're looking at, that's what you're staring at. That's how you take on karmic seeds or sins or something like that. Is something happened, it screwed your mind up, you stored a bad thought, you had a bad emotion, you hurt somebody, whatever it is. Now it steals your consciousness. You feel guilt, you feel insecurity, you don't want to see the person again, you got to move, you got all this stuff going on because you stored it inside. Fine, that's what you're looking at. But you who's looking, you're liberated, you're free, you're already enlightened, you're everything. I'd like you to know that. I don't want you to be afraid of karma or afraid of this or that. No. When you cease to hold on to that junk inside of you, it has no effect on your being for the rest of eternity. It means nothing. Okay? So the question becomes, if consciousness is the beginning and end of everything, and it is, the meaning of your life is to return to the source of self. It's called self-realization. That's why you took birth. You didn't take birth to build a house and do this and do that and have money and impress everybody. Go impress everybody and we'll see how impressed they are after you die. Give them a few years. You hear me? It's like, how many people's names do we remember 100 years later? A handful. And you're just not going to be one of them. Okay? And if that bothers you, you got some work to do. How many of you have been here? Hey, I know you're special. There's, 8.7 billion of you here right now? How many have been here? Oh my God. And what are you trying to do? Be important? Yeah, well, okay, you're important. No, you're here to liberate yourself. You're here to find yourself. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. Earth just sits there floating in the middle of empty space. Black all around. Right? Sun's 93 million miles away. The next sun is 4.5 light years away. That's how far away your next star is. I showed you once what a light year is because there's noise. There's a number to you. Ready? I just caught a beam of light. above the planet Earth. Imagine I'm holding it. It's hard. It's shivering. I'm holding a beam of light. Ready? 1. It just circumnavigated the globe 7.5 times in 1 second. Is that fast enough for you? Do that for every second, for every minute, for every hour, for every day, for every year, for 4.5 years at that speed. You will get to the next star. In other words, you're floating in the middle of nowhere. Okay? It's just a little tiny piece of dirt. And you know I can't help myself. How big is the Earth compared to the sun? 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. 1.3 million of these little dinky things you're hanging around fit inside the sun. And the next star is 4.5 light years away. The next galaxy is 2.3 million light years away. And there's 300 billion stars in your galaxy and in all the other galaxies, and there are 2 trillion galaxies. Wake up. Come to reality, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That truth will set you free. What are you worrying about? Oh my God, I got a spot on my thing, and I don't want to go to work. I don't. Okay. Oh, I'm in an elevator, and it's fairly full, and this idiot left the door open for 2 more people to come in. Oh my God, you're floating in the middle of nowhere. What are you doing? What are you doing? There are no problems. You're just here for a few years and you'll leave. Don't worry. But that's not what happens. What happens is our mind gets programmed with all these mess that we've collected because we couldn't handle life, and now it keeps talking about what might go wrong and what you want to happen or what you need in order to be okay. When people talk to me about, it's funny, Buddha talked about desires. Someone tried to tell me once, desires are God showing you what to do. They are not. Desires are a direct symbol that you are not okay. You don't have desires if you're filled with ecstasy and filled with love. The fact that you're not okay, you decide what might make you be okay. That's called a desire. Because your desire is her nightmare. And your desire 3 days ago, now that you see what it's really like, is your nightmare. Right? There's nothing holy about desires. There's nothing holy. They're not wrong. Don't be renouncing. I'm not talking about renunciation. But get that straight. If you have a desire, it's because you're not okay. I want to be important. I want you to love me. I want to do something great with my life. Right? If you're sitting in ecstasy and filled with joy and love, and that's radiating through you, the rush of holy water is just pouring through you all the time, you do not have desires. You don't have to try to have desires. Here's, you love somebody. Oh my, you guys are madly in love. But he or she had to go away for a year. And you thought that not coming back for 3 months, and the door knocks, right? So it knocks on the door and you open, and there they are. You're gone, baby. You just, whoa, all this love and joy is rushing up inside of you. Is there anything you desire right now? Want some pizza? Want to go see a movie? It's like, no, leave me alone. I'm experiencing everything I've ever wanted to experience. You are desireless. You're in a state of no desire. If you are in that state all the time, there are no desires. It's because you're not in that state that your mind has come up with things that either watched a movie, read a book, talked to somebody else, or had an experience earlier in its life that said, if I get this, I'm going to be okay. That's how you get your desires. They're not innate, they're not genetic. It's because you're not okay, and you have learned, there's a learning process with your mind, that there are things that could make you be better, or at least you believe they will. And guess what you want with those things? I want them. I have a desire. How strong? It depends on, by the way, the stronger your desire is, the more it's an indication that you're not okay. Give me love. I need love. I need love. I want love. I desire love. Same words. In other words, you're lacking. When you're not lacking, there are no desires. So this whole thing about renunciation is also not a spiritual thing. Renunciation is not a spiritual thing. What renunciation says is as follows. I'm not okay. I've had experiences in my life that say, if this will love me, if that will happen, if I can get this, whatever it is, that then I'll be okay. But I'm not going to do it. Even though I think it will make me okay, and I love God so much, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to renounce my desires. Well, you ain't going to God. Why? You just suppressed all of that stuff that built up inside of you. One, what made you not okay, what made you block. Two, are the past experience that you honestly believe will make you be okay. And now you're going to say, I love God, so I won't do those things. You will not end up loving God. You understand that? It's like you're just denying where you're at. That's called suppression. How's that? Freud would call it suppression. You want these things, and now you're pushing them away. You see what happens. We see what happens with the different people that renounce things and do things that don't always turn out so good, does it? Well, what's the alternative? Find out why you are lacking and deal with that. Not be lacking, form a desire, and then deny your desire. I told you, desires are an indication that you're not okay. Just like being sick, fever, sneezing. Don't sit there and plug up your nose. Don't sit there and get in ice water. That's not how you deal with fever. It's telling you something's not okay. You try to find out what's not okay. Desires are telling you there's something that's not okay. I am lacking. I am not whole. You are whole. You're complete within yourself. But you left that part of your being. How? By focusing outside of yourself. So it's all about coming back to the seat of self. How does one do that? If it's not renunciation, it's not this, it's not that. All right? I try to be compassionate, and I just see how much it's helping people. Don't start with all this big stuff. You can't handle the big stuff. It's too crusty in there. It's too negative in there. It's too messy in there. What you do, remember that the whole purpose is as follows. I am being distracted from myself. That's what's happening. I'm being distracted from my seat of self. How do I learn to not be distracted? You start with the simplest things in your life. The simplest, completely simplest things. I call them low-hanging fruit. For example, are you distracted by the weather? Have you ever been distracted by the weather? Oh, darn, it's so hot. Oh, my God, it's going to rain tomorrow. Oh my God, it's raining. I have to get out of the car. Anybody ever been distracted by the weather? In other words, you're in God, you're feeling ecstasy, but it's raining. I ain't staying with God. I'm going to go down and complain about the rain, right? You're having a beautiful, beautiful day, and a mosquito flies by, or it's hot, and you start sweating a little bit. You are distracted by those things, are you not? Okay, how about we work with those things instead of working with your lackings and your desires and all that stuff? Okay, let's start. I always teach it this way. When you go to play the piano, don't start with Mozart or Beethoven. Start with the scales. And practice. Will you get better if you practice? I'm not saying you're going to be a concert pianist, but will you get better if you practice the piano? Will you get better at sport if you practice the sport? Why can't you get better at not being distracted by practicing not being distracted? It is exactly the same. No, you want to go there and say, oh, well, my ex-husband, he's going to move back to town. I'm very distracted by that. What should I do, Mickey? Forget it. You're not ready. I'm telling you, you should have been using all the time he was not coming back to town to learn not to be distracted, and maybe you could handle something. But if you didn't practice your piano and it's time for your recital as part of Beethoven's, don't write me. What do? I feel scared. All right, well, okay. There is something you can do about your state of being. It's something you can do every moment of your life, not just when you're sitting there meditating. It's bigger than that. What you can do every moment of your daily life is bigger and more important. Not that you shouldn't meditate, not that you shouldn't do yoga and do spiritual things, but it's bigger than that. Those are just things you're doing for an hour or here or there. This is learning for you to not be distracted. How? Okay, so I always tell the story of how I used to work with this. It's hot out here. And when I first moved out here, there was no air conditioning. There's no air conditioning in the middle of summer, right? And my car didn't have air conditioning. My house didn't have air conditioning. And that was that. And so it got hot. And so I had to work with him because he would complain. Oh, it's hot. So I was meditating a lot. And I come out, it's hot. Okay, well, that'll ruin the meditation in 10 seconds. So I worked with him. And you're not going to do it this way, but it's giving you examples of what you can do. Instead of accepting the fact that you had this complaining thing in there, distracting your consciousness, bringing it down to complain about the weather, which you cannot do one single thing about. What is the benefit of complaining about the weather? Zero. What's the cost? 100%. It may ruin your day. So I used to play with Mickey this way. I don't have to anymore because it's natural. It's hot. He's complaining. I ask him, well, why is it hot? Because the sun is hot. Oh, the sun is hot. What is the sun? A star. A star? Stars are nice things. Who doesn't like stars? Right? You do something good, you get a star, right? There's stars in the sky. It's like, wow, the stars are nice things. So there's a star, and you're so close to a star. You listen to me because you never think like this. You are so close to a star that you're complaining about its heat. OMG. Wow. And then you stop and think. I used to tell him, how far away is that star? Well, Mickey knows that stuff because he's into astronomy, all right? And it's 93 million miles. 93 million miles away. And it's so hot that you're complaining? How far away is Miami? 250, 275, something like that? How hot would a fire have to be in Miami for you to feel it up here? If the entire city caught fire, every building, everything, you would not feel a single thing. That's 250, 300 miles. That's 93 million miles. How hot is that thing? And all of a sudden, it's neat. You're feeling the heat of a star. I told you, you do not get sunburned. You get star burned. It's a whole different thing, right? And you learn to start to have fun. Instead of complaining and being distracted, you use it to turn around and learn and grow and experience beauty. Next time you feel heat, think about that. That is a 93 million mile away star radiating. You want to use your mind? Use it for something constructive. Use it to liberate yourself instead of letting it just sit in there and come up with all this garbage that you're complaining about. So there, you did it with one thing, with the heat. That means that you don't get distracted by it. Certainly not in a negative way. You're not distracted. And if it's not negative, it's just the experience of being here now. This is what the temperature is. Isn't it amazing? This is what the temperature is right now. Okay? And then the other one, big one with me, and people always complain that I always do the same ones, weather, and then the big one. You don't think it's a big one. I'm trying to show you how every minute, every second of your life is a spiritual experience, right? Is, ready? The driver in front of you. Has anyone ever had a problem with the driver in front of them? Has anybody not ever had a problem with the driver in front of them? You're going too slow, you didn't use your blinker, you keep stepping your brake on and off, what's the matter with you? Hey, the light changed, why aren't you going? Have you, I'm going to go real far, don't answer me because you get embarrassed. Have you ever talked to the driver in front of you? Come on, buddy, look at the speed limit, it's 50, you're going 30. Yes or no? Okay. How you feel when you're doing that? Obviously aggravated, or you wouldn't be doing it. Did it change the driver in front of you? Same thing. 100% cost, 0 benefit. Are you willing to understand? I'm not kidding. That is your spiritual growth. Those little things every moment that if you wanted to, you could turn that around and make it something pleasant. Oh my God, I'm caught in traffic, I got stopped by a train. You're not going to do anything about it. Horn doesn't do any good, screaming and yelling doesn't do any good. So why can't I sit there and say, oh, okay, I guess I can't be in a rush right now. I'll watch my breath. I'll relax. Or someone's driving in front of you slower. I've done that. I've done it. They're really going like 10, 15 miles below the speed limit. This is going on, and he's saying something. I said, oh, just a second. What if that was an 80-year-old grandma or grandpa that this is the latter part of their life, and they're still mobile enough to drive a car, and they're just being extra cautious because, the reaction speeds aren't as good as they used to be. And you're giving them a chance to enjoy a part of their life. Now all of a sudden, instead of complaining, you feel good. You feel you're giving something. You have the right to turn things around like that. There's nothing stopping you. It's not a struggle. It's just being conscious enough to say, why would I ruin my day about how somebody's driving in front of me when I can use it to be nice? Okay? Like, say you want to beep, right? And you stop yourself because of this. You just made the world a nicer place. For the person in front of you, for you, for everything. It's called working on yourself. That's what it's called. You're in there, you're conscious, but you're being distracted by these stupid things that are 100% cost and 0 benefit. Practice not doing them. I beg you. Practice not doing them. It's a very private thing you get to do. Doesn't involve anybody else. And if you don't do good at it, Just the same as if you miss your keys on a piano. That's why you're practicing. Just do it again, do it again, do it again. But don't get stressed out. Just be happy and have fun doing it. People write me from all over the world. I can't believe how many emails we get. And 50 to 60% are thank yous. Just saying it works. Of course it works. How can it not work? First it works because you're not bothering yourself. You're not bringing all that negativity. But then it works because you're learning to let go. You're learning that you have these tendencies from the past, your problems and issues, to be negative, to get caught up in stuff and complain and do all that, which is never fun. You've learned to let go of that. You don't understand how powerful that is. You learned that I am conscious. This thing is passing in front of me, trying to pull me into it so that I leave my seat of well-being. I learned to not do that. How? The highest way I found? I'm an experimenter, right? Relax and release. I found that's higher than every other technique. What do you mean? I'm in here, he starts to complain. I can do what I said about changing the thoughts or doing all that. I can do that, all right? If you just relax, inside, relax. But no, there's no but. Relax. But it won't relax. I didn't ask it to relax. I asked you to relax. Boy, it's a whole different ballgame. Like the object of consciousness is tight. It's complaining. It's scared. You understand that? You relax. You who is experiencing it, just relax. Relax your heart. Relax your body. Just relax. If you want to do a mantra, fine. Just relax. The highest state is, can you relax in the face of the part of you that is trying to get uptight, that is trying to get dense? Let's take an extra outside situation. You have money, and you've invested your money. You have an advisor that is close to you, and every single time he or she advises you, you lose all your money, okay? Right? Now we're going on a third round, you end up making some more money, and this person shows up, they're a friend, but they show up, and they're giving you advice about where to put your money. Are you capable of making believe you're listening, but completely ignoring every word that person's saying? That's the same inside. That noise that keeps drawing you down into it is not doing you any good. Are you capable of not fighting it, not pushing it away, not getting mad at it? Just relax, even though it's talking. Just relax. You relax. That is the highest state you will ever go into. And if you start it with the tiny little things, such as the driver in front of you, such as the weather, it's hot, relax. Relax. Relaxation is the opposite of resistance. When you're resisting, you have to lean into it, go to it, touch it, push it. That's what resistance does. Relaxation is like judo. Relax, it goes past you. You're not touching it. Again, what did Christ say? Resist not evil. They send unto you an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, but I say unto you, resist not evil. Why? If you're resisting evil, you're part of it. You have touched it, you're pushing on it, it is part of your life. If you are capable of relaxing, I say unto you, resist not. Well, it passes right by. Don't resist the wind. It'll make you very tired. Well, what happens if I don't resist it? It will blow right past you. That's the teaching. I say unto you, resist not evil. Okay? So you learn to relax in the face of these tiny little things. It can't hurt you to not get upset because you caught the light. But it can hurt you to resist it and to get all upset. So these are free of charge. There's no downside. You just relax. Practice relaxing. And what do you see what happens? The things go by without you making a big deal out of them. And then what happens? Over time, if you will do this with the little things, something's going to happen that's a little bigger. That's a little bit bigger. And it used to bother the heck out of you. You know, go home and tell everybody, and for days it would bother you. You're going to find out it starts to happen. If somebody doesn't say hello, somebody's talking to somebody that you don't want them talking to, there's something going on. The one I like the most is somebody says something, you're not sure what they said, but you think it might be something that would bother you. I think she's talking about me. And you're just making yourself trouble, all right? And the next thing you know, you practice the exact same technique of relaxing. Why? I don't want to be bothered. I don't know about you. I'm sitting on a planet spinning in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to die soon. And it doesn't matter how old I am. You're all going to die soon. Planet's been for 4.5 billion years. How long are you going to last? 70, 80, 90? It's nothing. Okay? So what are you doing ruining your life? Life is not ruining your life. You're ruining your life about life. The sun, the heat, the driver, what somebody said, what somebody didn't say. So basically, things happen, and all of a sudden you find that you have the tool inside yourself to relax through them. And because you relax through them, you don't take them with you. They don't scar you. They don't leave all that kind of stuff. And then something bigger happens, and then something bigger happens. And you find yourself, you trained yourself to be able to let go, to be able to do what? Handle reality. Wouldn't that be interesting that you could handle reality, whatever it was? You're capable of training yourself to handle reality. Why? What is the purpose of resisting reality? You know how I define reality? That which already happened. Pretty clean definition, isn't it? If it already happened, it must have been reality. It's what happened. Is it right? Has nothing to do with right. Is it wrong? Has nothing to do with wrong. Is it fair? Has nothing to do with fair. Is it just? Has nothing to do with just. It happened. That means it's reality. Now, you can work with it to not happen again. You can raise things, right? But you can't undo it. Nobody can undo reality. Nobody can undo what already happened. You can screw yourself up about it. You can let it ruin your life. You do whatever you want with it, but you're not changing it. So you have a choice. Resist or accept. The trouble is you think that if you accept reality, it means you agree with it. No, you're not agreeing with it. You're just being a very wise person and saying, this actually happened. I can screw myself up about it, or I can be okay with it and work to make it better in the future. Help other people do something, right? You certainly have the right to do that. But if you choose to resist it, you're going to screw yourself up about it. I can't believe he did what he did. I will not accept that. Okay, you're going to suffer the rest of your life. Why? Because he did it. You have to accept reality. Why? The alternative is to screw yourself up. Is to make a mess of yourself because of reality, because of what happened. So start with the little stuff and notice that you can be okay with what happened. And then bigger will happen. And just handle the unfolding of the reality that's unfolding in front of you. Then what? Now you're not screwed up. Now you're clearer. I want you to deal with things in the future, not someone who's all freaked out about it. Handle it, then deal with it. Not don't deal with it. Handle it, then deal with it. But deal with it out of a sense of clarity, so that what you're doing is purposeful and willful and positive and constructive, not destructive because you didn't like what happened. I want you to understand so bad, there is no reason to suffer. Suffering happens because of resistance. It causes all kinds of problems. It gets like constipated inside of you. You resist something, it stays inside of you, and it eats you up, doesn't it? If you release it, and then clarity, come and see, can I help here? Not, can I manipulate you so that I feel better? You handle it, then you're fine. Can I help? Now I'm bringing positive, constructive, love, positive things into the world. So we talked about consciousness. This is how you liberate your consciousness. How? By ceasing to be distracted by these stupid little things that just come and go. And then what will happen? The next thing will seem littler than it did before, because you learn to let go. And eventually, really big things can happen. Really big things that now you don't even want to think about. And you're okay. You're okay. So practice handling things. And you'll find out that there's a joy inside of you that's incomprehensible. There's a river of joy that flows up all the time, feeding you with inspiration and love. You don't have to do a single thing. And nothing can touch it. Nothing. Until you decide to leave it. Imagine leaving ecstasy. All right. So I hope you understand these things. I hope it helps you. But work with yourself. Work with yourself. Free yourself. Jagrata.